it's always quite scary when you're developing, installing the work, because you don't quite know how it's going to fit together until you're actually in the space. I was making these really intricate drawings, and I started cutting into the drawings and found that I really liked that process of way of working, with a knife and making an image by cutting into the paper. And I just started going with that. I thought it was an easier way to translate the type of work that I was doing, and my ideas seemed to work better in paper cut. So I was doing a lot of 2D paper cut work, and just over time I started playing around with taking those paper cuts and sculpting them into 3D forms, and that's kind of how I started working in 3D. So it was kind of a development from 2D into 3D, and I realised that you could actually construct, really big structures from these 3D forms. And the process is basically you take this 2D paper cut and you start to form it into a 3D shape just by maybe tucking pieces in on itself like that, and maybe I just glue it there, and then I go to the other side and maybe tuck that bit in, and it just starts to have this slight curve on the work, on the piece. And the next step would be to get some fishing wire and string up in areas where I wanted it to hang, and just string it up like this. And I'd start to position it within the work. So there's a piece of fishing wire there, a piece of fishing wire there, and we'd hang it, and we kind of get a rough idea of how it's going to hang, and we just gradually secure it in various points where we need it, and try and form the shape that we want by just hanging in various points. So it's quite a slow process, really. I usually look at natural forms and patterns to get my ideas. I'm really interested in, just nature as a spectacle, and also just the patterns that you can see in there. So I always try and capture the scale of natural events and things like that in my work. So I'm always trying to make it really big, because nature is usually, the sort of events I'm trying to capture in nature are usually really big as well. So that's where my inspiration comes from, really, natural forms and natural patterns, and seeing how I can apply that into an installation.